Hello Sagittarius, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Sagittarius for the middle of November. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, let's go ahead and let's get one more shuffle in here because that was not a real shuffle. All right. Do hope you're doing well, Sagittarius. Hope things are going good for you. We got Sagittarius season right around the corner here. Do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for future updates from me. And as always, all of the decks that I use in my reading are linked in the description below this video. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up here and in view. That's just about good enough to me. Close enough. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a couple of these Kipper cards, then I'll also take a couple of these to clarify as we go along. All right, energy on the bottom. You have the Empress. So the Empress is a very positive card in the tarot. It's a card that you want to see for many reasons, but probably first and foremost, the Empress card represents abundance in the tarot because the Empress is like the mother archetype. And what that means is, you know, the idea is that just like a mother can see their children grow into big, strong human beings, the Empress can see you plant a seed, let's say a business idea, and see it grow into a profitable business, or can see you make an investment, right? And see that investment grow into something big. And that is the idea of the Empress, right? It's, being able to see something grow, just like the mother, right? And obviously the Empress can refer to your mother, but in this case, I do feel like this is Sagittarius. This is about abundance for you because not only do we have the Empress, but we have the Ten of Pentacles as well. The two biggest cards of abundance in the tarot. Now, I do think that this is a good reminder for you, which is that, you know, abundance is not always about like large sums of money, right? There are many things connected to abundance, one of which is, for example, simply feeling extremely happy about yourself, about your situation, about yourself. You know, emotional abundance is a real thing, and it is absolutely a side of abundance as well. You know, having a successful business that you've built from the ground is absolutely a form of abundance, or having a strong family, right? Like raising kids, right? That is for many people, right? Not for everybody, but for many people, that is a form of abundance. And, you know, this is something that I think I would like you to keep in mind as you pay attention in this reading, because you definitely have something very good here. Now, in the current situation, you have the Two of Swords, which, you know, the Two of Swords can say that there's maybe something in your life that you're not exactly clear around. There's something that you're not exactly seeing here. You can see the blindfold energy on this person. They're having a hard time seeing the Two Swords in front of them. But it is in fact that the Two Swords could also be the thing that is blinding them. In other words, there could be an argument, there could be a challenge, a war of words between you and another person. I always like to say that these two swords could be like daggers, emotional daggers thrown between you and another person. It can bring about like conflicts in speech because, in other words, verbal conflicts, because swords represents communication. However, Two of Swords could also say that there's something that you need to be honest with yourself about, okay? And, you know, if I'm looking here, I don't really see another person's involvement really in this reading. We do have a Knight, which could be a person. Obviously, I said that the Empress card could be your own mother, but my intuition is that this is more inward. This is more about an inward message. This is inward focused here. In other words, do you need to just simply be honest with yourself about some type of situation that you find yourself in? Like, you know, is there something that you're doing that you know you need to not be doing here? Because in the problem position, you have the Judgment card, Okay, this is time for you to be serious. Okay, this is time for you to be completely real with yourself. Not to put pressure on you, but the Judgment card says that you are like the final boss is right in front of you, right? The thing that you've been looking for is right here. The completion is in the future. Number 20, the Judgment card. Number 21, the World. This is a really nice combination to find. Okay, so you are going to, you are going to find a way to complete it, but right now, what's happening in this first cross here with the Two of Swords and the Judgment card, you're not seeing the missing piece. Okay, there's one missing piece to the puzzle for you here, for sure. There's one missing piece to the puzzle, and you're not seeing it, okay? Like it fell off the table, like you don't know where the puzzle piece is. And I think that this is because there's something that you need to be honest with yourself about. Okay, Judgment card says, get real with yourself. And the Two of Swords might say that you are not looking inward. You're not taking, it may say that there's something that you need to be honest with yourself about. There's not another way for me to say that. In the past here, you have the Two of Pentacles, which, the Two of Pentacles says that you've been going through some changes here, okay? This person's kind of juggling all of the different priorities in their life. They're keeping all the plates in the air. They're kind of handling all the things right now. And, I do think that there have been some things, changes. There have been some things that you've been dealing with here in the past. With the Two of Pentacles, that might be a little like, choppy here. The one way of describing the Two of Pentacles is it can say that you're maybe sailing on choppy waters. In other words, you're dealing with changes, you're dealing with unpredictable situations in a sense here in the past. And although it could be connected to money, it seems like your money situation is looking very good with the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress card for you. So, it is possible that you've taken the right steps here in the past to do something for your financial life. Of course, not financial advice, but, the cards here are saying that things are, you have the ability here to have a really abundant situation for yourself. Now, in the future, you have the World. So I love this for you because, in the cross, we see that there's a bit of a problem here. There's a roadblock, okay? And again, this is a good roadblock to have because I do not feel that it involves somebody else. I feel that this involves you, all right? This is an internal roadblock. This is something that you can easily work through. But it's, I don't know about easily. Easily in that, there's not another person involved here, but overcoming this internal hurdle might be a little bit challenging, but you can do it. The thing is, in the future, the World card represents a completion. It says that you will successfully jump over the hurdle, okay? You will get to the top of the world. You will get to the top of the mountain. You will summit the mountain. And the World is a major victory in the tarot. It's a major completion. It's major success after having gone through a major journey in your life. And yes, I keep using major because the World is the last card in the tarot. It's a big, big situation here. And, it's Saturn energy. Saturn is a slow-moving planet. It brings big changes. That's why you hear people talk about their Saturn return and everything. But for you, I really like this because the Judgment's in the problem position. And so to me, I do think right now there's a little bit of like, okay, I got to do this thing. I got to figure this thing out. But in the end, you will figure it out with the World showing up in the future. Now, in the area of your thoughts, this is in what you're conscious of or what you're aware of here, you have the Hermit. So the Hermit is, this is somebody who is introspective. This is somebody who prefers to go within. And I do think that this is the way forward for you right now. I'm not saying that you have to do this forever, but I think that you're aware of this here, this is because this is what you're aware of. This is what you're conscious of. I do think that you're aware that, the way forward for you is to spend some time in solitude, spend some time with yourself, with your thoughts, being introspective, going within, so forth and so on, right, for you here. Because it's almost like the only person holding you back at this time, Sagittarius, is you, which again is a very good problem to have. It's a very good problem to have. Again, I see major success here for you, but don't ignore what you're the internal messages or the internal signals that you're getting about something or someone here. In the subconscious, this is what you cannot see. This is what is hidden. You do have the Knight of Cups. This is a happy event in your life. Some type of happiness coming in, some type of happiness arriving for you. Knight of Cups is certainly a card that you want to see. This can signify the start of a new relationship in some ways. Or somebody that maybe you've been talking to, maybe you start going a little bit further with this person. But this has not been about love. This reading has not been about love. This is about, some type of happiness here arriving in your life. And, again, I think it's because you're discovering what it is that you need to work through here with the Two of Swords and the Judgment card. Now, in the staff, this is the direction that you are headed. In your current influence, the way that you are influencing the situation, you do have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, the Empress. I mean, that's amazing, right? That's amazing. That is like you getting to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? It's like you finding the thing you've been looking for, finding the treasure that, the buried treasure that you've been hunting for. The Ten of Pentacles, it is like, it can be about inheritances, potentially. It can be about family money. It can be about anything like that. I don't know if that's really showing up here. You do have the Mother card. We'll have to see what these three cards are, plus the clarifiers to see what comes in. But this can more broadly be about like building your empire or building something for yourself here that is long term, and that can set your legacy up. It can be about legacies, setting your legacy or building your empire in some way, however you want to sort of phrase it. So it's a very positive card here, and it's also a completion. The World, Ten of Pentacles, completions here that are successful, that feel pretty abundant for you. Remember, keeping in mind that abundance takes many forms in life. In the external influence here, you do have the Six of Wands, which is a victory. This is the second victory in the suit of Wands, and this person is quite literally taking a victory lap. The people are cheering them on. They're exceeding expectations. They've won the battle of the Five of Wands, which is the card that comes before it. And yeah, this is what they get now, right? And so for you, success is all over the table here. It's all over the board, and it's all available to you, but working through this roadblock. Now, in the hopes and fears, you do have the Ten of Wands, which, again, another completion. So we have double tens, and we have the World here. So you are completing something. There's no question about it. Like the Ten of Wands, to me, in the hopes and fears, this might suggest that you're concerned that there's more work ahead. It's like just as you complete one thing, another thing, shows up. It's like, okay, like what is that phrase? Like one step forward, two steps back, or two steps forward, one step back, whatever. Like it's almost like some of you feel like that right now. What I will say to you here, this Ten of Wands would suggest, look, so like, first and foremost, each one of these wands represents some sort of knowledge earned or skill learned along the way. So this person is wise, okay? They have knowledge, right? They have wisdom. They've learned a lot in their journey, because this is the final card in the suit of Wands journey. So do know that that's something that comes along with this card, but also the universe chose you to carry this burden for a reason. And it's because you can complete the task. You can see it through to the end. So do keep that in mind as well as you look at this. So for some of you here, I feel like there's some fear here around this completion very clearly, but just know that the cards are saying that this completion brings very nice things into your life. Now, in the outcome, you have the High Priestess here, which, this can be about things that are simply like subtle or hidden or not exactly obvious in your life. This can also be about you connecting to your intuition. In other words, you could say that this is a mystery. Okay, I think the mystery is being solved here. Okay, with the Two of Swords and the Judgment card, as well as the World and these double tens here in the future. So the mystery is being solved here. The High Priestess also says, trust your intuition. And as a Sagittarius person, whether you're Sag rising or you're Sag sun or moon or whatever, North Node, whatever, your goal, one of your goals in life, Sagittarius, is to develop your intuition and to strengthen your intuition and to trust your intuition, because you are a deeply, deeply intuitive sign. And the High Priestess, again, is the most intuitive card in the tarot. And so I think some of you are also learning a lesson here in trusting your gut, trusting how you feel, trusting your intuition. Let's go ahead, let's see what these clarifiers are. All right, so you have the Three of Swords, you have the Hierophant, and you have the Page of Pentacles. So the Three of Swords represents a separation from something. It can be just anything that breaks your heart, right? And for some people, for example, like, leaving a job you've been at for a long time, that is a separation that is going to be emotionally challenging for most people. And so just remember, it's not always about like, oh my God, I'm going to go through a divorce or a breakup or whatever. That's not always what the Three of Swords is about. The Hierophant, it is a card of marriage. I will say that these two cards here together, if you're just reading them together, this might be a divorce, because the Hierophant can be marriage, but actually it could also be work divorce as well, because the Hierophant can indicate the place that you work or the organization that you're a part of. It's possible here that some of you are simply closing out a chapter in your career life, but it's like there's something that comes along with this that feels very good for you, especially because you have this Page of Pentacles, which is about good prospects in life. It can also be good news coming into your life, but it says that you have a sort of studious approach to your work or your life in general, and so whatever thing is falling out here, it's not like you're not prepared to handle what comes next. You're definitely prepared to handle what comes next. Yeah, you have concern, change, poverty, message. Some of you are going through some type of change, and I think in this reading, it's been showing up here as a completion, okay? Because with this change, and this is going to test you a little bit here with the poverty card and concern. But what the Spirit, the universe, the tarot cards here that we've pulled here are wanting to tell you is that you're ready to take this on with change, change and message, okay? Like, you're ready to take this on. This change is actually a completion, okay? This is something that's actually been in the works at the spiritual level or at the astral level or whatever you want to call it. This has actually been in the works for quite some time now. So good things are coming for you, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.